Hey everyone, Adam here with Old Santee Canal Park's education team. It's time for another Expedition OSCP. Today we are exploring the Purple Trail, also known as the Canal Trail, right here, and it goes all the way back. So follow me as we explore the Canal Trail. So while you're exploring the Canal Trail or the Purple Trail, you're going to be walking along the Tail Race Canal. The tail race means a channel below the dam. The dam is called the Panopolis Dam. It was built in 1941 as part of the New Deal for Santee Cooper for hydroelectric power. So that's where the water is coming from. The tail race eventually connects with the Cooper River below the park. So as you're walking along the Tail Race Canal, look, and you never know what's going to be flying up and down river. So as you're walking along, you may notice that this tree right here, this is called a hackberry tree. And it's easily identifiable because of its bark. If you look at the bark, sometimes it's got these little circles in it. These are made by woodpeckers. Another common tree that you'll run across is called a red maple. So this is a red maple. It's a very, very common wetland tree. You're gonna see it a lot. The reason it gets its name red maple, because sometimes in the fall, it'll turn bright red. Another great feature of the Purple Trail or the Canal Trail is lots of observation points. So you will have to venture off of the main trail that follows the Tail Race Canal and go to the observation points, and because there's lots of cool stuff to see at them. So as you're walking out to the Canal Trail observation points, you'll notice these boxes next to all of them. And what they are prothonotary warbler boxes, also known as the swamp canary because they are bright yellow birds. They are cavity nesters, and that's why we put out these boxes. They get their name prothonotary from the Catholic Church. The notaries in the Catholic Church wore yellow robes, and thus that's why they're called protho-notaries, or prothonotaries. So as you're walking out to the Canal Trail observation points, you're walking directly into our swamp. There are some really cool trees in our swamp. One of those trees is the cypress tree, as you can see right here. They have some really cool adaptations to be able to live in the swamp. One of those adaptations is called a buttress trunk, which is a bell-shaped trunk which supports the weight of this big old tree in the swamp, so that way it doesn't sink in the mud. Another adaptation are these knees right here. These knees help support the weight of the tree as well. As you're walking down the observation points, you'll notice a lot of this grass. This is called giant cut grass. And the reason it's called giant cut grass is the blades have serrated edges. So be very careful not to grab the grass because it will cut you. Another cool sight on the observation points are dragonflies. There's lots of different species of dragonflies. So this one is one of the most common. This is called an eastern pond hawk. And this is a female because of its blue color. The males are bright green. So look for all kinds of different species of dragonflies as you're walking on the observation points of the Purple Trail. So what you'll see floating on top of the water is called duckweed. It's like the cheeseburger and french fries of the swamp ecosystem. Lots of things really enjoy eating it. It's the bottom of the food chain. So don't be alarmed if you see a bunch of duckweed. It is actually great for the ecosystem. So as you come out to the end of the observation point, you're going to come out to our main swamp channel. And you never know what you're going to be able to see out here, whether it's birds, frogs, alligators. At this one just so happens to be a wood duck box. Now wood ducks are cavity nesters and they nest in tree boxes. So we put one up to help support the wood duck population in our swamp. Another common wetland plant is buttonbush. And what's really cool about it is it forms these beautiful white globe-shaped flowers. So as you're walking, make sure to keep your eyes out because you never know what you're going to be able to see. We just spotted this alligator as we were walking just beside the boardwalk. Remember, these alligators do not want anything to do with you. Just do not mess with them. Don't throw sticks at them. Especially don't try to feed them or try to catch them. These creatures have been on the planet for 300,000 years. They're very well suited for living in wetland environments. So just enjoy looking at these prehistoric dinosaurs. Another really cool sight we found on the canal trail is this snake skin. And if you see, there's a spider right next to it. Now this spider is called a fishing spider. It walks on top of the water with small hairs on its feet and it catches fish. Now the snake skin is pretty cool because in order for snakes to grow, they have to shed their scales and they do it all at once. Us humans, we shed our skin in little tiny pieces called dandruff. So really cool find. Another really cool plant on the Purple Trail or the Canal Trail is this yucca plant. This is a native plant and it was very important to Native American culture. The reason being is the end of the leaves can actually be used as a needle for sewing and filaments inside the leaves can be used as thread. So one of the observation point trails on the Canal Trail or Purple Trail actually forks. So one goes out to a dead end, the other one actually crosses the swamp and goes and meets up with the woodland trail or the green trail. So at one of the observations on the Canal Trail is you will come out to the main canal and you will see all kinds of wading birds like this great egret. A flowering plant on the Purple Trail right now is the common yellow primrose. It forms these beautiful yellow flowers. Unfortunately, this is another invasive plant. So as you're walking down the Canal Trail, be on the lookout for this beautiful wetland flower called spider lily. What an amazing plant. As you're walking our trails, remember, all these animals and plants that I'm showing you, this is their habitat and home. We don't want to trash up their habitat or home. So whatever you carry with you, remember to pack it back out. So as we're traveling down the Canal Trail on this observation point, what's really cool is that our park actually has elevation changes. And the reason we have elevation changes is because of the limestone bluff directly behind me. And you can see that on the Canal Trail. Now, we are located at 900 Stony Landing Road. The reason it's called Stony Landing is because of the limestone that we have here in the soil. Limestone forms from the ocean. So all of this used to be covered in ocean at one time. And critters like shrimp and crabs, when they die, they form on the ocean floor. Well, they get all pressed together and formed into limestone. That limestone, as a result, is high in calcium, which allows for the soil to be not so acidic. So because we have elevation changes and because we have not so acidic soil, we have some really, really cool plants here at the park that you can see. When you reach the end of the Canal Trail or Purple Trail, you will arrive here at our dock. And this is a place, if you're canoeing, you can stop and rest. Now, what's really cool about this is We are called Old Santee Canal Park because we preserved the last mile of the first canal ever built in America. When you arrive here at the end of the canal trail, you arrive at the end of the Santee Canal. So you are actually at the Santee Canal when you arrive here. So the canal was 22 miles long. It was built in 1793 to 1800 and ran to about 1850 when the trains took over. So just a little piece of history that we preserve here at the park. Thank you for joining me for another week's Expedition OSCP. I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.